Hi guys, welcome to T20 Daily. We are back on site at the Harbour Lights location in beautiful Bridgetown, Barbados. I have with me today a very special guest, media personality and television presenter Joel Manning. Joel, how are you?
A little warm at the moment, but other than that, fantastic. Lovely to be back home, to be honest.
Lovely to be back home. I know you've been a busy bee in the World Cup so far. I saw you doing some very good broadcasts. What have you been up to?
Thanks for the compliment to start with.
No problem, sir.
So I had two roles for this World Cup. The first being television presenter for the World Feed, and that involved me dealing with the pre-show. So the pre-show would be 30 minutes before the start of every match, where I had a chance to walk through conversations with the commentators and pretty much give insight into what we believe might come up in the match, players to focus on, moments that we can look out for coming up in the match. And I did that for the group stage. So I started in Barbados, did 3 matches here, went on to then Antigua, did 2 matches there, and finished up in St. Lucia with 3 matches. And that was actually a very amazing opportunity because my first time working with a senior men's tournament. So that ticked a box for me. And then for the Super 8 stages, I went across to Antigua, and there I was the in-stadium host. And what that entailed was that I would head into the crowd and everything would then go onto the big screen. So everybody's stadium, I will be looking to engage them, talk to them, maybe see, what their thoughts on or what their team might look to do today at the stadium, who they think might win, maybe dance or two with everybody and just have a bit more fun. So yeah, those are the 2 roles that I had for this World Cup.
Sounds like I was almost out of a job. I'm pretty glad you were so busy because I know usually you would be one asking the questions, but a highlight. Give me one highlight for this World Cup so far.
One highlight for this World Cup. Cricket aside, it was hanging out with Matthew Hayden, to be honest. So naturally is this is someone who I've just seen on my television, 2007 World Cup at Kensington. He's there in the final, having a blaze in that 50 over World Cup. And it's the fact that I got to not just deal with him in a professional capacity, but to sit down and just have conversations about life and get to learn a bit more about him and him actually taking an interest, and getting to learn about me as well. That entirely blew my mind because I didn't think that things like that would happen for me. I know that I would, cross paths with these guys, work with them. I had a chance to work with Ricky Ponting, Pommy and Bangwa, my favorite guy, Bish, is there as well, but yeah, highlight for sure was just sitting down, going to a street party in St. Lucia, that kind of stuff with Matthew Hayden.
Great. Beautiful insights. We'll get back to some more of your experiences and how you see the World Cup. It's time for What's Trending. What a tournament it's been so far. Joel, Afghanistan, Cinderella story, team of the tournament so far for a lot of fans. 2 of their batters are in the top 3, Gurbaz and Ibrahim. Talk me through.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't say it's unbelievable because you knew that they've been making strides in world cricket, and you think back even to the 50 over World Cup where they had some fantastic performances as well. So you saw it coming, but the fact that it's all come together now at the right time for them. So you mentioned the fact that Gurbaz and Zadran at the top of things, when it comes to the top 3 run scorers, and you have Fazal Farooqi as well, leading wicket taker. In this tournament so far, I think maybe about 15 wickets at the moment he had,
Got one last night, I'm sure.
Yeah, so somewhere around there, and it's just been a phenomenal story for them. And even watching, that game against Australia, it was a case of, yes, people will say that Australia were not at their best, but at the end of the day, they're still Australia. And they put together what was a very comprehensive performance to even just restrict them when it came to the fact that you thought that maybe the likes of Maxwell, might take Australia over the edge again. But their bowlers stuck to the task. They held their nerve. And then again, that game against Bangladesh, batters didn't necessarily come to the party as they might have expected, but once again, held their nerve. And it's really just been a fantastic story, them alongside, some of the associate nations in this World Cup as well. So yeah, it's been a phenomenal World Cup and one that I don't think many would have predicted in terms of results that we've seen.
Yeah, so a Cinderella story indeed. Speaking of a Cinderella story, who can forget 2016 in Eden Gardens? We caught up with Carlos Brathwaite and his bat maker, the man who made the bat that hit the 4 sixes in that World Cup. Let's see how they got on.
When you're looking for a bat to be made, personally, what is it that you look for, and how do you guys communicate? Or do you come down to the front yard and say, right, I want this, and this, I need this kind of weight?
Errol expects me to bat with bats this size edges all the time.
We can do the edge ledge with that.
We can do the edge ledges for sure. But I think pre-World Cup, obviously where I bat, obviously there's a big focus on Yorkers at that time, less so wide Yorkers and slow balls and whatnot. So I always wanted a low middle, and I wanted big enough edges that when you look down and you know your role is to hit a 6, you want to believe that no matter which part of the bat this ball hits, it will go for 6. Obviously, you can be caught in the 30-yard circle, but it gives you the confidence. So for me, thick edges, when I pick the bat up, I don't want to feel the weight, so I like the weight to be balanced, and I sometimes balance it with 3 grips. So when I pick the bat up, yes, on the scale it may say 212, but in the pickup it feels like 27, 28. So I'm not really big on scale, I'm not really big on grains, just feel good edges and a good ping. When I hit it with a ball, I want to see it jump off the face of the bat.
Pick up and ping, isn't it? That's what it's about.
100%.
And then so you would come down here, every time you take a bit off the bat, you're picking it up and you're saying yes, no, I need a bit more off the toe type thing, and that's just how you guys work together.
Yeah, for me, and that's the best way. When you can be able to come into the workshop and sit there, have a beer, drink, talk, and watch actually your bat, your machine being worked on, just to suit you, is amazing. So that part for me is key, having the player there and be able to work with him. So he cuts down, he calls, you chat over the long things when everything's done on point.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect scenario, really, making a bat, having a beer.
Yeah.
Sounds decent.
Some breadfruit?
And some breadfruit, yeah, we're going to have some later, aren't we?
Yeah.
So do you want to show the viewers how you get started on, this is a pre-made sent from England, is that right?
Yeah, so you will call it premier, you just call it having the raw clef.
Yeah.
So just pre-press, and that's the most, for me, the important thing when making a bat. You can have the straightest grains once this clef isn't pressed properly. So you get that ability of the bat to bounce, as Carlos said, the ball to jump off. It makes no sense. You're just making a bat pretty.
Yeah.
But key, press.
This is where I step away because I'm useless in my hands, and then allow the master to do his work.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a wide set of tools. Mostly draw knife is used to taking off the majority of the wood, and then you go to the planes after. So just come. It's a bit challenging, tedious. Then you have to be precise on what you're doing and make sure you don't take off too much from the edges.
So where would you take weight out of this bat, for example? What are you?
Well, I'm finishing copying this, so I have to put in the concave along the spine, going up to the shoulder of the bat. So I'm gonna put in the concave with this bat, and then do the bottom with the sport shift.
Okay, cool.
See the shape is already there?
Yeah.
So then now come with the sport shift and give it the
finish off the toe,
Yeah. So now you can see here that everything is
pretty much the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Yeah,
Like this now, using the draw knife like this, you have to be really careful.
Yeah, not take
because
too
you
much
can
out.
dig a hole into the bat.
What handle shape are you going for? Semi-oval, oval, round?
Do semi-oval in the bottom and round at the top. Keeps the pair to keep the back on the hand, so the bat won't twist in your hand on bottom. And then the oval just before comfort at the top.
Cool. So so the bat's ready now for sanding. How do you go about finishing off?
All right, so it's just a sanding tail, and you can sand a bat is important too, because you can sand the bat out of shape.
Yeah.
So you gotta be careful when you're sanding, how powerful the machine is. There's also things you have to pay attention to when you're sanding the bat.
Yeah.
I start at 120, 150, 180, 220, 320.
So 5 sands.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So guys, we've got the finished bat minus the grip and the stickers.
Yeah.
And then once we put the grip and the stickers on, and then, Ooh.
Yeah.
Errol, Thanks so much for your time. Really insightful.
No problem.
Masterclass, absolutely loved it. So, got the final product here, minus the stickers and the grip. How's that feel?
I'd probably put a few grips on it, but without the grips, it already got a nice, even balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very good.
Wonderful insights from the back maker Errol Edey, hailing from St. Philip in Barbados. We salute you, sir. Earlier in the week, we caught up with Wingstop. They went to the Empire Club, a prestigious club. Their aim was to promote and assist in the development of grassroots cricket. So we're here with Forecast to catch up with Wingstop to see what they're doing in the community as far as grassroots cricket is concerned. We're at the Empire Club, a club famous for many international cricketers, a club with rich heritage. The kids are in the background. Let's go see what they're doing today. I'm here with Jason Hayes, head coach of the Empire Juniors program. Jason, how are you today?
I'm doing quite well. How about you?
I'm fine, my brother. So, Wingstop, they've decided to come on through and provide your juniors with some kit. Tell me, how important do you think it is for sponsorship for grassroots cricket?
Well, I think it's very important. You know, these kids come from various backgrounds. Probably some of them would not have the same opportunities as others in terms of being able to get equipment and stuff like that. You know, as you know, cricket is a very expensive sport, and being able to attain equipment and stuff like that goes a long way in helping these kids, you know, practice the game that they love.
Okay, so tell me a bit about the program, specifically what you're doing today and what are your age ranges?
Well, today, as you see in the background, the kids are going through some drills, basically trying to get them to focus on simple tasks, such as sequencing and order. A bit of stuff like what you would do at school, you know, more or less, but we're trying to implement it into sport as well. We also try to hone in on basic skills as well with these drills, and we cater to kids from 4 right up to age 18.
Wingstop is here, as I said. We're going to give out some kits to you guys, and obviously we hope that will be beneficial to the youngsters going forward.
Yeah, really looking forward to that. I want to thank Wingstop for being so gracious and kind in supplying the kit to us.
Great to see Wingstop helping out the kids of the Bike Hall community at the Empire Club. Kudos to you, Wingstop. Let's get right into it. Business time. Semi-final. South Africa versus Afghanistan. I repeat, South Africa versus Afghanistan. Who would have thought that I would be saying those words? Kudos to the men from Afghanistan. It's predictions time. Joel, your predictions.
Well, before we get to my predictions, actually somebody who predicted that Afghanistan will be here. It's actually Brian Lara. In his top 4 before the tournament started, he said that Afghanistan will be one of the 4 teams in this World Cup. So he for sure is somebody who predicted this. But my prediction, the match will be playing in Trinidad, Brian Lara Cricket Academy. Interestingly enough, it's going to be a night game. That pitch has been playing up and down, so to speak. I'm going to go with momentum against the odds. I'm picking Afghanistan over South Africa for that one.
Better bowling performances and better batting performances on the night. Who would you back to score on that track?
That's going to be an interesting one. So in terms of runs, Afghanistan batters have been doing well. South Africa have been doing relatively well in this tournament as well. I would say top 4, so have been doing, relatively well for them. Quinton de Kock definitely can get them off to a jumping start in there. Aidan Markram, definitely will carry us back quite well. So I'm thinking that maybe whoever bats first, and I'm thinking probably that Afghanistan will favour themselves to hopefully win the toss and bat first, because they've been defending totals quite well coming on to the back end of this tournament. So I'll say that Afghanistan probably win bat first, my prediction, and get to maybe about 1 between that range of 140 to 155. And then restrict South Africa to 139. I don't know. But yeah, let's go with win by 6 runs. Win by 6 runs.
You heard it, guys. Joe Madden predicts Afghanistan will win by 6 runs. I'm not into many predictions myself. I am your host, your presenter, but I'll tell you this. If Afghanistan bat first, there will be hell to pay. Joel, thank you so much for your insights. Thank you for your predictions. But most of all, thank you for that outstanding work you've been doing on broadcast.
You know what?
Shit your hand on that. Guys, catch me same time, possibly the same place. This is the T20 Daily Show. Jamal Smith, signing out.